I have to admit, my trust in them has been shaken.
Commence primary ignition.
This is the way. This is the way. I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
What is up, all of you Ugnaughts and Jawas out there, and welcome back to Mando Talk on a Tuesday. We got Mando Talk going up on a Tuesday. No, listen, I'm so excited to be doing this. We are officially doing Star Wars focused episodes twice a week because we have that much going on in the Star Wars universe. Tuesdays is going to be our news heavy episodes. Thursdays are going to be our topic or spoiler discussion episodes, but we'll talk more about that later. DJ is here with me. DJ, what is up?
Man, everything is up. I'm telling you that right now. There's something up. Something smells fishy. I don't even know. Just the whole world has gone into a tizzy. I rhymed. And I didn't mean to. I didn't. I did. That's the closest I'll ever be to an actual DJ right there. I'll tell you that right now.
DJ got that DJ energy. Let's go.
That's it. All right. True story. When I was in college, one of my best friends, his name was Parker. He would hand me the aux cord when he would drive, and he would say, DJ? And I'd be like, okay. And I'd plug it in the aux, and we'd go.
How often would you get that growing up?
What, the aux?
No, just I'm like the DJ joke.
Oh, my gosh. Who was it that sang that song? Go DJ. That's my DJ.
Yeah.
All of sixth grade, there was this one kid, he was my classmate in my art class.
Uh-huh.
And I don't remember his name, but he every time he saw me, go DJ, that's my DJ. And when I got into high school, I'm ashamed to admit this, but I will.
Okay.
I was a huge Kesha fan. I loved Kesha.
Interesting.
And
selection.
I know, but I liked Kesha and Lady Gaga and Katy Perry. I was into that. I'm not now. Like if Firework comes on now though, I'm just like, okay. But Kesha always would say something about DJ in her songs. And so my go-to was Kesha doesn't talk about you in her songs. So, I mean, that's kind of like my go-to back in the day. It's so dumb sounding now. And it was dumb sounding then.
Yeah. Well, I like it.
But anyway, I've gotten it a lot.
I bet. Well, listen, we have a heavy show for you this week for our news episode, man. I mean, perfect timing as far as our conversion into focusing only on Star Wars. But I do want to let you know, if you are someone that loved the Geekverse Reactions content, it is exclusively on YouTube. So subscribe to our YouTube channel if you like that stuff. Like, for example, later tonight, we're going to do a Spider-Man No Way Home trailer reaction. If you like Spider-Man, if you like Marvel, if you like No Way Home, again, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not done so. And even if you don't like that stuff, you like Star Wars because you're listening to this, so subscribe to it.
Indeed.
Regardless. DJ, do you have any other thing you want to say before we get into it?
Just that I've had a bad week. I'm hoping to turn that around with this show. We're going to get into heavy news, and that's fine. Yeah. But I want to talk these feelings out. I'm basically tonight, you're going to see a therapy session is what you're going to see. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding to a certain degree.
I'm kind of glad that you said that. I do want to make our audience aware. Don't get it twisted. I think I can speak for DJ. And DJ love Star Wars. We love everything about it. But I do have a feeling.
I made this. This is a mouse pad I made. Okay.
I do have a feeling, though, that we are going to go a little dark side occasionally tonight. But it's us. We need this. Like he said, it's a therapy session. We need to vent. A little bit. And sometimes we need to have that conversation with you guys. And you tell us maybe that we're being crazy. And then we come back to reality of us being crazy. And then we move on with our day. But that's just the point. Yeah. That's just where we're at right now. So we got to do it.
That's true. That's true. So
let's
take it away, man.
Let's go ahead and do it. This first thing is news, but it's kind of more so an announcement because we did in fact get Under the Helmet, The Legacy of Boba Fett. It has officially been released on Disney Plus as part of the Disney Plus Day celebration, which we will definitely talk more about later tonight. This is a 21-minute special on the streaming service that dives into the history of the legendary character of Boba Fett. I'm sure this adds to anticipation for the Book of Boba Fett, and if I'm being completely honest, I have still held off on watching this special, and the reason for that is because me and DJ will be kicking off our Boba festivities on Thursday's live stream, where we get you and us prepared and ready for the Book of Boba Fett, which will be coming to Disney Plus on December 29th. So we can't wait to do that. We can't wait to do that Thursday. And the reason why I wanted to share that with you in announcement form is because we'll talk more about that special on that episode. But regardless, make sure, if you're listening to us, make sure you've given Under the Helmet a viewing before Thursday. That way you're ready to go to discuss it in full spoilers, and I need to make sure that I've seen it. DJ, you want to add anything to that announcement before we go on to our next news?
Just that I have seen the special already. I got up at 6 a.m. the day on Disney Plus Day and watched it, and enjoyed it very much, very thoroughly enjoyed that. So y'all come back y'all come back now. You hear?
Y'all come back now. Thursday. Get on over here, boy.
Get on him. That's one word, by the way. Get on him.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And come back Thursday and we'll talk some more about it. But yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Fair enough. All right, DJ, what's the next? We're probably gonna hit this one announcement form because we got so much to get to. What's next?
Yeah, this put a bummer in my week. I think it put a lot of people in a weird feeling, but like he said, we'll announcement style, and I'll throw it back to Caleb right after. But there are online reports that Kathleen Kennedy has.
Pause.
Oh no!
I think we're gonna dive deep into that one.
Okay.
Let's hit the video game thing. Let's hit that announcement form because I think that recently when we first made these notes, that was originally something that I felt like was smaller, but suddenly I think it's bigger. So we're going to dive deeper into that. Let's hit the High Republic thing.
Nope, that is totally fine. I am probably better versed to talk about that than I am the Kathleen Kennedy thing anyway. So let's just shift down here to this video game news. And just so you all are aware, of how I do things, I always copy and paste my show notes into a separate document.
Sure.
I like to hold on to those. I keep track of them. So that is why I'm not looking at our shared documents. Okay. I will fix that next time. Yeah, it happens. It's all good. But anyway, let's hit this news piece. Quantic Dream's rumored Star Wars video game is believed to be titled Star Wars Eclipse via the Bespin Bulletin. They kind of, I think, got this one almost exclusively, if I'm not mistaken.
Potentially.
I didn't see it really anywhere else, but this game is rumored to have been in the works for about 20 months or so, according to Star Wars Newsnet. Video game insider Jeff Grubb, I hope I said his last name correctly.
I think so.
I don't know if it's Grubb or Groob, but Grubb makes more sense. He reveals the game will be set in the High Republic area. And it is believed this game could be announced later this year during the Bring Home the Bounty campaign that is currently happening to hype up Book of Boba Fett, which it's kind of fun to go and check that out. If you haven't, go to Star Wars' website, starwars.com, and check out Bring Home the Bounty and what's been released so far. And so anyway, that's kind of where everybody's thinking. So here's a question to kind of go along with this news piece. Does a High Republic video game, does this excite us? Is this something exciting to us, Caleb? You go first.
It's certainly exciting to me. I mean, it in a sense would probably make me dive deeper into the time frame over the novels right now. For some reason, the novels just aren't clicking with me. Like, I mean, yeah, I want to check them out, but it's just not. I'm not super motivated to go check it out. It's something that I know I want to once I have more time on my hands. Right now, I don't have it, but I feel like going into the High Republic era in video game form honestly might be the best form to do it. That's just my opinion, and that's why I am kind of excited about this.
I'll say, as far as having read Light of the Jedi, I have it here. It's, excuse me, I should not have eaten before this. As far as reading the first novel goes, I was thinking about this today. I think that it would be a lot of fun in a video game format. A lot of the story feels kind of video game-esque as it is. So whether it's a direct correlation, direct parallel to the novel, I'm not sure, but I think it'd be really cool, and it does excite me. I mean, Star Wars video games excite me anyway. I mean, I still play Star Wars Battlefront 2, I think, and I see people all the time are still playing online, both Battlefront and Battlefront 2 that have been released by EA. But video games all the time are great. So Caleb, next question. Are there too many video games rumored to be in production for your personal preference?
I mean, there are, it does feel like there's like 2 or 3 now that are in the works behind the scenes, but they haven't announced them. But I think this kind of leads into the next question potentially. I think this is a medium that Lucasfilm Games needs to focus on. Because again, I make these connections every chance I can. I am in a profession where I'm around young people on a daily basis. Video games is by far the number one conversation amongst at least a lot of the boys that I'm around. They talk about video games nonstop. So if you want to get Star Wars in the face of people as quick as possible, it might be in video game format. So I know I kind of knocked out both of our questions there that we had to discuss, but I think it kind of naturally flowed together.
Well, no, they definitely did flow together, and I think you're right on to something. I mean, young people, especially boys, guys, teenage boys, they just are all about video games. You're in a profession where you're surrounded by students a lot. So am I as a youth pastor. We talk about these things constantly with these kids. So it makes a lot of sense that if this were to go into production, not even just production, if it was just on the shelf, people would be interested at the very least. Plus, this is, as we've gone over several times, not only on this show, but just everybody across the internet, this is an untapped piece of history of Star Wars. And for us to be tapping into this in so many different mediums, I love that there's a potential for this to be put in video game. As far as what could be coming as if focusing on too much, I don't think they are. They definitely need to put more focus on that. I know we hear rumors, and I know we hear different things, like there's supposed to be a Mandalorian kind of Red Dead Redemption type game out there somewhere. Whether that's the case or not, I still have no idea.
Sure.
I think it'd be, if they decide, hey, let's put this out there, it makes me happy. I mean, it's a good day for me if there's anything like that.
No,
so,
I certainly agree. Well, let us know what you think, those of you out there, what you think of this potential High Republic video game that we could be getting titled Star Wars Eclipse. Sounds cool. Would love to see it. I hope we do get that announcement pretty soon. Okay, let's get into our main news pieces. And like we kind of said there, this started as, when we first started making these notes, it was going to be announcement form. We were going to hit it real quick, move on from it. But by far, this has been, I mean, in my updated notes here, I put online craziness. It is absolutely crazy as far as what the conversation is with this topic online right now. And the online craziness is from Puck News, who, in Puck News, the writer that is getting a lot of discussion about right now is Matthew Bologna. I don't know how to say his name. I just said it like a food, but whatever. He is a previous editor for The Hollywood Reporter, and I think that's where a lot of the, confidence in this report is coming from, is the fact that he used to be an editor and writer for The Hollywood Reporter, which is great. I mean, he's probably more reliable than me, that's for sure. But inside this report from Matthew, Kathleen Kennedy has re-upped her contract at Lucasfilm as the president for 3 more years. That's one thing. Second thing, Patty Jenkins did, in fact, have creative differences with studio heads, and particularly Matthew mentioned script issues, and has resulted in Rogue Squadron being delayed. And then the third thing, of course, somehow Rian Johnson gets brought up. Anytime anything negative could potentially be going on, a lot of people would view these two things negatively. So Rian Johnson naturally comes up. The third thing is Rian Johnson's trilogy has officially been shelved. What in the world is going on online with all of these reports behind the scenes at Lucasfilm? It's crazy. DJ looks like he is getting ready to go dark side mode potentially.
Just for our audio listeners, I am wearing a 2005 Darth Vader helmet. That was, you remember those masks when we were kids?
Yeah.
This is one of those helmets. All right. I am wearing my Darth Vader helmet because I'm angry. Not in the way you'd think. You know, I could not care less, is what I should say, that Kathy Kennedy has re-upped her contract. I'm one of those people who, let me just say this. I've supported Kathy Kennedy. Okay. Yep. I've definitely been an online supporter of Kathy Kennedy. My main issue with this, and I may take a second on this one. I hope that's all right.
That's fine. That's why we took it off the announcement list.
Yeah. This made me mad because Matthew Belloni, which
baloney.
Look,
what? Sorry.
Look, he writes for Puck News, man. Mm-hmm. Puck that, I don't want it might as well be Schmuck News. I don't appreciate what has been happening because of this guy.
Sure.
Now Matthew Belloni, I'll say it, I don't mind it. This is ridiculous. Everything that's been said is 100% based on hearsay. I tweeted about this, the other day when it all kind of happened. And I was like, where's the article is my first thought. Where is this article? So I went digging, found the article. It took me forever to even figure out where it came from. Like, what even is Puck News? It took me a while to even figure it out. Once I find it, I'm thinking there's nothing in here. All it's based on is just this guy saying, oh, I heard from a guy. I mean, So what? That's no different than you being in high school and hearing about Jeff and Bethany are back together. Like, okay, big whoop. No one gives a rip if Beth and I almost said Beth and Jeff and Bethany are back together. No one cares, and the fact that he's just like, oh yeah, I heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who you've been messing around. Okay. Quoting some 80s music here real quick, some REO Speedwagon for our listeners tonight, but it's ridiculous. I think it's absolutely insane that this has been blown out of proportion. And here's the thing. It was going to be blown out of proportion regardless because it is Kathy Kennedy. She is constantly put on blast, and I just thought this has been totally blown out of proportion. But the number one thing that everybody's been pointing to is the fact that her husband, Frank Marshall, who is also a producer with Lucasfilm on Indiana Jones, at least, 1, 2, and 3. He was part of the original and the fourth one, actually. They named a college that Indy teaches at in the fourth one after him, Marshall College. Frank Marshall, her husband, had retweeted this, which for a lot of people was pointing at the fact that this guy would be the one person on the face of the planet who could actually confirm this that isn't directly involved with Lucasfilm. I mean, that alone tells us, I think, a lot that this could be legitimate, that she has re-upped her contract. My thing is, I don't care if she re-ups her contract. I think she's done a good job. Things have been successful. Force Awakens was incredible. Last Jedi split the difference there, and a lot of people loved it. A lot of people hated it, but it made money. Rise of Skywalker ended, 40 years of Star Wars storytelling. And Mandalorian has just been blowing people away. And to the point now, I wouldn't wear this Grogu shirt tonight, this official The Child shirt, if I hated what was happening, and I think that it's okay that she's re-upped. But with that being said, I sent Caleb the gif of Jim Halpert from The Office going, what is going on? Like, that's how I feel constantly about this over the last few days. I have no idea what's going on. And when I say what is going on, my thing is, where is Lucasfilm? What are they doing? Why aren't they talking? Why aren't they just coming out and just saying these things? And I, for the sake of a decent parallel, why is Marvel so willing to touch base with the fans? And why won't Lucasfilm do it? They're under the same parent company. It can't be that hard. Kevin Feige and Kathy have talked. Yeah. Why aren't they just having a conversation? Why isn't Kevin Feige being like, just make the announcement? I don't know. It's just so much to me. And that's a lot of what I have to say about Kathy Kennedy. A lot of thoughts all at once, and that's why I'm dark side right now.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a whole
I feel
thing.
that. I feel that. I don't know. This might be one of the things I need to therapy sesh with. I love Kathleen Kennedy. She has done a phenomenal job. We wouldn't be Disney Plus, The Mandalorian, Obi-Wan Kenobi, all this stuff wouldn't be coming if it wasn't for Kathleen Kennedy.
Right.
But connecting this to the Patty Jenkins thing, and again, this is something I talked about last week before Matthew or Puck News, whatever, started saying, oh, it's not scheduling issues. There are creative differences going on. I was saying that before reports or whatever was coming out. That was my personal tinfoil hat theory. There's nothing out there to confirm that for me. But this is, for me, something that's getting really old. I mean, I've got a list here of former directorial announcements that did not happen. Josh Trank was set to direct a Boba Fett movie. Got canceled. Colin Trevorrow, obviously with Episode 9, quote-unquote, creative differences. Lord and Miller with Solo, a Star Wars story, quote-unquote, creative differences. Gareth Edwards, late in the production of Rogue One, they had to bring in a second director or second editor or whatever because they were no longer seeing eye to eye. Now add to the list Patty Jenkins, and do not forget David Benioff and Weiss from Game of Thrones.
The guys on Solo.
Lord and Miller.
Lord and Miller. Yeah.
I just feel like that is a issue for me. If we're continually having these issues. It is for me too. And I get it. Like I said, I love Kathleen Kennedy. She's great. She's been phenomenal. But as the lead of Lucasfilm, that is 6 too many instances of this happening.
Yes.
I mean, you think about it with Marvel, Kevin Feige, they've been doing this for 10 years plus at this point.
Yeah, longer than that.
Maybe happened once or twice. It has not happened 7 total times.
I can't recall any time it's happened.
It's just crazy, in my opinion. I feel like there's just a lot of behind-the-scenes things that go on. And obviously, we as fans, we don't have to know this information. I'm not asking for them to give us a press release or anything like that. But it's just kind of alarming to me that this continues to happen. I don't know. That's me venting. I'm being negative. But this is my therapy opportunity, I guess. Those are just my thoughts. And I don't know why Rian Johnson was brought up in this. Rian Johnson's trilogy being sidelined is always a thing that comes up every 3, 4, 5 months. So that's whatever to me at this point. But I am personally concerned with Lucasfilm behind the scenes. Well, I know what we're getting is great. I know 2022 is going to be great. I know Kathleen Kennedy is doing a great job with the content that we are getting on Disney Plus. But calling it how I personally see it, the job on the movie front hasn't been that great.
I mean, in just a few months, we're getting this guy. Hold on.
Yes,
we
see
are. My ring light.
That's
Obi-Wan Kenobi right there. We're getting that guy very soon. And that is going to be awesome. The things that are coming that we've known about that are on their way, that we actually for sure are getting, these are things that are exciting. These are very exciting things. And that's why it's only been until now, as you used at the beginning of our show, our trust has been shaken in Lucasfilm. And for some people, it's been shaking since 2018.
Sure. Since The Last Jedi, no doubt.
Yeah. Since The Last Jedi. Because it's been shaken like that, we've got to kind of understand or try to figure something out. You said you weren't looking for a press release.
Yeah.
Honestly, for the first time in this era since 2012, really, I need a press release. I'm usually one of those people who doesn't really get bogged down in these kinds of things. And for the first time in almost a decade, I'm like, we need to hear something.
Yeah.
When Last Jedi happened and it all split the fan base, I didn't really feel like I needed it. I was like, you know what? We've got one more movie. Well, 2 at the time, but we got one more in this trilogy. Let's see how it plays out. I loved Rise of Skywalker. It's in my top 5. I love that movie. Top 5 of Star Wars movies, I should say. So this is the first time I've ever felt like, okay, Kathy Kennedy, yeah, I don't really care that she's re-upped her contract. However, somebody at Lucasfilm needs to say something, do something. I don't know. They just switched out their PR person, that's
true.
I can't remember who that woman's name. I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but she did just, resign after being there for a long time.
Right.
I mean, like 30 years, I think she'd been at Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there obviously a new PR person's coming in, and you know what? That may be some kind of a devilish, topping on the sundae, the melting sundae that is what's happening. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a metaphor, and that's the only thing I can come up with. I'm just so upset about. It's like someone took hot sauce and just ruined a thing of ice cream. It's kind of what feels like is happening, and I don't want that to be the case because I care so much about Star Wars. I was trying to. My wife, God bless her, she has to hear me talk about this kind of stuff all the time, and she's not a Star Wars fan like I am. I mean, she goes to the movies with me, she watches the shows with me, and I appreciate that. But I had to kind of like put it in terms that I felt like were almost justifiable. And here in the States, the NFL, football is a big deal, and I was like, this is similar to being like Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, firing Dak Prescott, their starting quarterback. For like, what is like everybody in the sports world would be like, Jerry, what are you doing? Like, what is going on? Everybody would be like the Jim Halpert gif. What is going on? Everybody would be doing that. And that's how I feel right now with all this stuff. I mean, I could easily talk about this for like another 45 minutes.
No doubt. I could too. I'll just say this as far as my final thoughts regarding all of this. Me personally, again, for a second episode in a row, I do just want to say I don't know if this Puck News article is legit or not, but I am personally of the belief that there are creative differences going on with Rogue Squadron, and that's why it's getting delayed. I want to throw that out there. I'm going to stick to my initial gut feeling last week. I don't want to, fade off of that. I want to be true to how I'm feeling. Secondly, I think that I have officially come to a point where I understand both sides of the argument of Kathleen Kennedy should be president of Lucasfilm. Kathleen Kennedy should not be president of Lucasfilm. I get it. I'm not somebody that cares, though. I'm still going to watch Star Wars. I'm still going to get excited for it. I'm excited for the future. But I get why people are frustrated. I get why people are A-okay with it, though. So I'll leave it at that for me personally. DJ, do you have any other final thoughts you want to add?
I think that's the best way to put it is I finally see both sides of the argument. And so people who have been, on the fire Kathleen Kennedy train for a long time and who have heard from me, online, defended her, all those things. I think I now see why, even today, I saw a comment on something Facebook the other day where someone said, "Don't take my precious EU novels away from me." And I'm like, get over yourself. But then at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I get why people are saying things like that.
Yeah.
And for the first time in a very, very long time, I understand that.
Yeah.
That's kind of, where I'm at.
All right.
It's kind of where I'm at.
All right.
Fair enough.
Agree. Fair enough. All right,
Fair
DJ.
enough.
Let's go ahead and move on to the next one.
Ooh, yeah. All right. So, I've lost my. Here we go. Okay. This one was one of those that I know bummed Caleb out. It certainly bummed me out a little bit as well. But Chloe Zhao is reportedly not. I repeat, not directing Kevin Feige's Star Wars film via the Hollywood Reporter. THR, basically, this is a quote from this article. It says, "We've been hearing this one all week, but insiders insist that no, Chloe Zhao is not directing Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie or any Star Wars movie." Just initially, before I go into our questions as far as this goes, Hollywood Reporter is about as verified gets.
Yeah, this is fact. This is fact.
Yeah, and I'm glad that somebody, probably on Chloe Zhao's PR team, said we need to get out there and dismiss this now. And that even adds to the giant hot sauce Sunday I mentioned a moment ago that's been going on with Lucasfilm. Just this, and it's a mud pie at this point, and it's just a lot to deal with. So initially, that's where I'm at. And let me just go ahead and ask this question. This is going to be. I'm so sorry for our listeners. It's such a downer. For me right now,
it is.
And I really do genuinely apologize to our listeners and our, all of our members of our Discord and everything else. I feel so bad. It's just so depressing.
Hey, we got to be honest with you guys, though. That's part of it. That's part of it. You're getting our true side. And again, call us out. If you don't agree with us, call us out.
Please. And you know what? To echo that, if you don't agree, absolutely say something. Let's have that talk.
Don't yell at us.
No,
have a conversation with us.
you be genuine with us, and we will be genuine with you. Honestly, we'll probably still be genuine with you, even if you do yell at us.
That's true too.
But at the same time, you know what? This whole week would just turn around if we got like a Jar Jar Binks series announcement. I mean, if Ahmed Best back as Jar Jar Binks in a full 8 episode, that would make my life. Anyway, let's get into these questions about Chloe Zhao.
Yeah, let's do that.
This report came out on Disney Plus Day, which was just, you asked this, Caleb, was this rubbing salt in an open wound? Let me go ahead and just answer that really quick for the both of us. And not for the both of us, just for me. Yes.
You answered for the both of us.
We got the leaked Obi-Wan stuff, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yes, we will.
A day early. And then we got a great special on Boba Fett.
Yes.
But and then C-3PO doing TikTok voiceovers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The most. Anyway,
I know we're jumping ahead. Boba Fett.
I'm jumping ahead.
Woohoo!
Oh yeah, Boba Fett. Whatever. Good God. Anyway, Mando in Fortnite actually was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't play Fortnite. I got a younger brother that does. I'm like, okay, yeah. And I asked him, can you have Grogu with you? He goes, oh yeah, you get Grogu with you. I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. But all that to say, yeah, this is salt in the wound. Okay. Second question. Caleb, I'm going to ask you, do you want to still see Chloe Zhao come to the Star Wars franchise?
100%. For me personally, I think that she, again, and I talked about it last week, I'm going to stick to my guns. I'll be honest with you guys. Having a Best Director Academy Award winner is something I've always wanted for the Star Wars franchise, and I know that she would be able to deliver that. And also something else that I've been debating, internally as this news came out. And to be completely real, what we talked about last week was just a rumor. It was an online rumor. It was nothing else. This is, in fact, a legit report. This is fact. Chloe Zhao is not going to be directing. What was I saying? I just got completely lost. Sidetracked there.
I don't know. I don't know where you were
All
going.
I know is this. Chloe Zhao, I think, when I think
do you want to still see her come to Star Wars?
When I think of all of the different potential directors that Star Wars could have, coming to mind, I think of Taika Waititi. We're getting him. Rian Johnson, he's one of the top tier directors. We might not be getting him. But when you think outside of that, like I thought over the weekend when we got this news, okay, who directors out there would I prefer to see in a Star Wars film? I kept coming back to Chloe Zhao over and over again. So for that reason, I personally want to see her do it. I don't know if we will, but I do know that she has, regardless of, this is fact. Even though this is fact, I still think she has expressed interest in doing it. She just won't be doing the Kevin Feige's Star Wars film. So she could still do it one day. It's just not right now.
Well, you mentioned directors you'd like to see come to Star Wars, and I didn't have anybody in mind necessarily, but the first person comes to my mind is Ryan Coogler.
The Black Panther?
Black Panther director, but also Creed and Creed 2.
Yes, good call.
Let me explain really quickly why I think Ryan Coogler. He took an existing franchise, Rocky, and reinvented it and gave it something fresh and modern.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
And I think he could and he did the same thing with Black Panther. Black Panther easily could have been a dumpster fire. It could have been a total dumpster fire, but it wasn't. It's one of the only Marvel movies to ever be nominated for Academy Awards. you know, that for something that is actually worthwhile, you know, not like visual effects or something, you know, it was actually a decent nomination. And Ryan Coogler very easily could walk into Star Wars and just totally blow our minds. So he's the only other guy I can think of. I'm going to walk back something I said last week.
Okay.
I don't think I want Chloe Zhao to direct Star Wars.
Okay.
And I won't get into all of the reasons why, because I think we'd be here too long. I genuinely think I'd be here too long talking about that. But I will say this, for what I've seen from Eternals and her other film that I know she was nominated for, which name I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Nomadland, I believe.
Nomadland, that's right. After seeing little bits of that, clips, trailers, you know, I've actually not seen that movie, but from watching Eternals, I can say visually still would be a stunning project. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to film them. She knows how to shoot a movie. But I don't know if I want similar story elements from Eternals to come into Star Wars.
Sure.
I feel like things need to stay family friendly. And some people will say otherwise, you know, and that's fine. I mean, that's okay. That's what opinions are for. But that's my opinion on it now. And it has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman. I want Bryce Dallas Howard to direct a Star Wars movie, and Deborah Chow's got the Kenobi series. Heck, I would watch a Deborah Chow directed Star Wars movie, you know? Oh, my cat has just knocked over my light. Oh my gosh. Barton, get out of here.
Way to go.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me put this on pause.
All right. Well, while you're saying that,
go ahead and move on.
I don't disagree with you. I can see that take as far as, you know, Chloe Zhao not being for everybody in Star Wars. But I think for me, I think as far as the visuals go, I mean, Eternals, I know it's not the best Marvel story, but it's certainly one of the better looking Marvel stories that we've ever gotten.
Oh,
and
it totally
I know
is.
That she would rock the visuals of the Star Wars franchise. And maybe if she, I don't know, had someone come help write, like do a duet as far as writing the script, I'm all for it. All for it.
Yeah. I mean, and I would love to see even Gareth Edwards return to Star Wars. He probably won't, you know?
Yeah, that's probably not.
I don't think that'll happen. That's probably not going to happen, but I think bringing him back to Star Wars would be great. But
yeah, as
far as Chloe Zhao goes, you know, I'm okay. It's a pass for now. I'm okay with that. Yeah.
That's fair. Fair enough. Well,
yeah.
Let us know, those of you out there listening, do you want to see Chloe Zhao eventually come to the Star Wars franchise? We know it's not going to be Feige's film, but that, you know, never say never. Never say never. All right, our next news piece is the incredible Disney Plus Day Obi-Wan Kenobi sizzle reel that we did indeed get. Now, again, it was leaked the day before. Me and DJ did a reaction to it. Got amazing amount of reviews and not reviews, but views. You know, we get good reviews too, you know. Throwing that out there.
We do. We do.
Incredible amount of views. People were going crazy about it as far as when it leaked. We didn't know it was a leak. I don't think anyone knew it was a leak until people started to see the video getting pulled off of everywhere. And then here's what happened the following day. Disney Plus Day, of course, and it releases exclusively on Disney Plus. So it's not on YouTube. It's not on the social medias, at least legally. I'm sure you can still probably go and watch it somehow out there. Yep. And we're going to hold off on discussing the Disney Plus Day aspect of it as we're talking about this sizzle reel, but we are, in fact, just going to discuss the sizzle reel as a whole. For me personally, I have now watched it, I would say about 5 times, because for some reason, I feel like if it was on YouTube, I probably would have watched it about 50 at this point. YouTube is just more
I think we all would have.
readily accessible in my mind that I can just click it on my phone, watch it. I know I have a Disney Plus app, but for some reason, I don't associate that with, I can quickly watch this and have fun watching it. But what did you think, DJ? I know I did a video about Disney Plus Day as a whole, and I kind of talked about the Kenobi reel a little bit, so I'm going to pass this on to DJ, and you share what you thought of the sizzle. Of this, let it sizzle. Sizzle that sizzle.
I want sizzle that sizzle, yes. I want to share just a couple things on that, you know, kind of behind the scenes look. Caleb and I discussed that through Discord and just kind of had a conversation about it. And he put his video up and he was like, I'm not sure about this. And I was like, no, everything you said, spot on. I mean, and he'll verify that. I mean, that is exactly how I felt in a lot of ways. I really was like, you know what? There are things about this that, while exciting, a kind of a bummer. Yeah. That's going to be a kind of a reoccurring theme with me tonight. I'm sorry, but here's the thing. When I found out it was on Disney Plus, I was like, great. I was on Twitter like everybody else, waiting and trying to see what was coming. And I went over and I clicked the link. It took me to my Disney Plus app, opened it up. Boom, there's Kenobi. Fantastic. Okay. I wanted to go back and rewatch it later on my TV because that's where I'm going to watch the show. I want to see what it's going to look like. I want to see, even though there's no clips from the show yet, which was also another part of the bummer. I'm watching it and I'm like, where is this thing? I had to go to the bottom of the Star Wars menu and scroll all the way to the far right to find it. It was difficult to find. So why it wasn't on a banner at the top of the home screen, I know they put out the Boba Fett thing, but you're teasing your next big Star Wars show. Why is that not on the top of the screen? As far as letting anything else sizzle, look, those of you who got to watch our reaction before we took it down for legal reasons, we didn't want to get shut down over here. I was amped. I'm sitting right here screaming my head off in excitement. And Caleb the whole time was just like, okay. And I was like, is he telling me to slow down or is he freaking out too? No, I wasn't sure.
Freaking out.
Okay, good. I was like he may think I'm insane.
Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking you might think I was just insane. I was like, what have I signed up for? No,
partially. I'm just playing.
No, I was amped. I can't even express how excited I was in words. I just kept going, yes. I was just so excited. I mean, it was, like I said this in our reaction, it was Super Bowl level excitement for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like home team going to the Super Bowl. I was beyond excited. So, for me coming out of this, I was like, you know what? That was awesome. That was great. I loved the sizzle itself. But again, with the sizzle, it was something they showed to investors at Disney Plus Day a year ago.
Yep.
And that's not something people are just throwing out there. That's been confirmed.
Yep.
And again, refers back to what is going on at Lucasfilm. And that's another reason why I think a lot of people's trust has been shaken, especially those of us who have supported Lucasfilm, been behind Lucasfilm, and waited for some good news to come around. And it's like they're just saying, just wait. And you'll find everything out after we release another episode on Disney Gallery, behind the scenes of, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to love it. I'm going to enjoy it. But for the love of all things that George Lucas created with his own brain, good Lord, just put together a trailer. Even Sony with their terribly edited initial Spider-Man poster. All the lighting's messed up. It looks like someone just threw clip art on a piece of paper and called it a day. Even they put out something and people still went nuts over it. Good Lord, I'm having a time over here.
Yeah.
But well, I'm sorry. Again, I'm sorry to you, Caleb, to our listeners.
No,
this is just,
again,
it's annoying.
We got to do
it's
this.
Annoying.
We got to do it.
It's annoying.
I will say this. It sounds like the Kenobi sizzle reel was great. It was fantastic. We loved it. It's a great minute clip.
It is.
But with Disney Plus Day, let's just go ahead and transition into this. Let's reflect on Disney Plus Day as a whole, because I feel like that's just kind of where this conversation is going. Something that you just mentioned. And again, this is something that I kind of alluded to in my Disney Plus Day reaction video, but something that I think we can discuss a little bit more even here. I get, as Star Wars fans, me, DJ, you listening, we're going to watch the making of and the behind the scenes, the Disney Gallery, stuff like that. Star Wars, Lucasfilm, I know you're probably not listening, but if you want your audience to grow, you have got to quit with these hour-long documentaries on behind-the-scenes stuff. Kids are not watching the making of The Mandalorian. I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you. That's just my personal opinion. Us as Star Wars fans, yes, we are watching it. But the Star Wars community is not growing with a behind-the-scenes sizzle reel. Kids want to see action. They want to see Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader fighting. New footage. They want to see trailers. They want to see something to make them want to see this some more. Concept art doesn't do it anymore. It does it for us. It does it for me. It does it for DJ. It does it for you, those of you that are listening. But it doesn't do it for anyone outside of our bubble. And if at the end of the day we want Star Wars to pass on from generation to generation to generation, Lucasfilm has to adapt to this generation.
I'm so glad you made that point. I'm over here shaking my hand like I have to. I'm like a kid in class. Oh, pick me. I'm so glad you said that it has to go to the next generation, because I've had this thought in my head for several days now. And it is this: Lucasfilm is relying too heavily on a nostalgia train of fans who have been around since 1977 or found Star Wars along the way. They are not looking into the future. More specifically, they're not looking into the future like Marvel is. Marvel is moving forward and blazing trails and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Guys, I know I just said I don't like I liked Eternals. I liked the way it was directed. I know I said I don't want Chloe Zhao in Star Wars, but that being said, somebody like her can step into Star Wars and wreck shop.
Yeah,
100%. I mean, just do absolute amazing work. But is that going to happen if Lucasfilm continues down this road that they're traveling? No, it's not. The nostalgia trip has to end at a certain point.
Right. And
if that means you put in, something insane and that it's attention grabbing and it makes people talk in the right way, that's great. Comic books aren't doing that. Novels aren't doing that. A video game might do it, but it's not going to be the same unless you see a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away in blue letters on a black backdrop on a silver screen in a movie theater.
Yeah.
It's just not going to move forward. This is not going to go the way you think.
There you go.
It's just not. And I'm one of the most optimistic people when it comes to Star Wars. I really, truly
certainly
am.
I think you're more optimistic than me, and even I feel optimistic. You're the definition of an optimistic Star Wars fan, and I love it.
Thank you. And you're a great optimistic fan too. But this is so, again, I've been coming back to this over and over again. This is an issue. These are major issues, and I don't know who to blame, because I don't want to blame Kathleen Kennedy. I don't want to be a part of that side of fandom. I definitely don't want to blame Dave Filoni, and I certainly don't want to blame George Lucas, because he has no involvement with the thing anyway.
Sure.
For people who are still out there, throwing George Lucas under the bus, where have you been for the last 10 years? And that's another conversation, I guess. But at the same time, with everything that's going on, this is something that we got to get a hold of, and we got to fix this. I'll keep reading comics. I'll keep reading novels, and I'll keep playing video games.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like John Williams fanfare with a yellow text on a starry background. And even though Mandalorian's not necessarily doing that, I hear I'm like, let's go. Yeah. Even today I was watching Clone Wars episodes and the Clone Wars fanfare. Immediate adrenaline, immediate. I'm a kid again, I'm loving and watching it. I'm soaking in because it's such good content. I can't keep relying on that. I can't keep relying on that. And I may have gone a little off the rails just now, for like the fifth time tonight.
Again, I think this is a therapy session special of Mando Talk.
It kind of is. and of course, we are trying to reflect on Disney Plus Day.
Right.
You asked this question in our show notes. was it a success or a failure as Star Wars fans?
Right.
I mean, listen, I'm going to go ahead and say that it was neither.
Okay.
Okay. And here's why. We got something for the public that was an Obi-Wan Kenobi sizzle reel. Obi-Wan Kenobi sizzle reel for the public. That's great.
Was
okay.
it, though, for the public?
Well, it wasn't initially. It was supposed to be for Disney Plus subscribers only to boost those numbers. You know, that's what they were looking for, because the Disney earnings this last quarter was the worst quarter.
Yeah.
It was the worst quarter they've had, I think, to date since Disney Plus launched in 2019. So they were trying to bump those numbers, which, man, that whoever leaked that trailer, they screwed Disney Plus.
Yes, they did.
Mean, and that hurt them. That 100. So they're. I honestly think, I tweeted this too. I think that we've been grounded. I think we've been sent to our room without dessert as Star Wars fans before that trailer getting leaked. I really do, because we were apparently supposed to get a Bad Batch and an Andor, something or another.
A few other things. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm only saying the things that I know that were in like Disney Plus like videos that were tweeted from the Disney Plus Twitter account.
Correct. Yes.
And so I'm going to go with, it was not a success, but it wasn't a failure, because Boba Fett, that documentary, phenomenal. I told my dad hasn't watched it yet, but he was born in 1971. So he's been a fan since day one.
Yeah.
And I told him, you got to check out this Boba Fett thing. It's great. He goes, what is it? Explain it to him. He was like, oh, I need to watch. He was like, oh, I got to watch that. It's Boba Fett.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great thing to look at. It's a great thing to watch. It's good to know where Boba Fett came from, where he's going. You know, they did leave not a tease, but they were like, and he's going to continue to grace the screen for years to come. Credits. You know, it's kind of how that's not really spoiling anything, but it's just, that's kind of how the special ended.
Right.
And that's great. And we're gonna not nitpick. We're gonna dissect that thing on Thursday. That was fun. So that's why I say it's not a success. It's not a failure. There's goods and bads to the Disney Plus day as far as official Star Wars news goes. Overall, though, I lean more towards failure, but I'm going to say officially not a success, not a failure. Caleb, what about you?
Two answers. It's a success for us as the diehard nerds that we are for Star Wars fans.
That's a good statement.
An absolute failure for the general audience.
Yep.
Because the general audience is not talking about Star Wars. And next year's supposed to be the biggest year of Star Wars ever on Disney Plus.
Yep.
No one's talking about it. So success for us, and probably success for the listener, because yes, getting under the helmet is enough for us. But I'll go back to the statement I made. It's not enough for anybody else.
It's not. No,
so.
you're absolutely correct.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm starting to feel like not myself because we're being so negative. So I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to get to 2022. I'm actually, you know what? I'm ready to get to the Book of Boba Fett because I know that Star Wars is going to be king when that thing comes out.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna destroy everybody's minds. It's going to be so big, and it's not going to be big the way The Mandalorian was big. I'm predicting personally that it'll be bigger.
Yeah.
Because Caleb, you may remember this, you may not. On the first time I was on Mando Talk back in January. God, I can't believe it was January. The first time I was on here, but I mentioned my uncle Frank. When Mandalorian first came around, he was like, Deej? He always calls me Deej. Deej? What about that Boba Fett show? When's that Boba Fett show coming out? I was like, well, Frank, it's not a Boba Fett show. It's a new character. And he goes, oh, okay. He's real nice, very gracious guy. Yeah. He's just like, I get it. It's a different character. He looks the same, but to me, it's the Boba Fett show is kind of what he's telling me. Well, he's now gone over to my cousin's house and watched it with him, as these episodes have come out. And so they get together and have a little watch party, which that's great. But this is the Boba Fett show that's coming, which means people like my Uncle Frank, people like my dad, they are going to go bananas when they see the green helmet come down and he's sitting on the throne of Jabba, Boba's palace, that stuff's going to blow people away. I'm with you. I'm ready for December 29th. I'm more excited for Book of Boba than I am Spider-Man. And by the way, just as a quick little tease, here in just a little while, Caleb and I will be reacting live for the first time to the new Spider-Man trailer.
Yes, we will.
So for those of you who are normal Geekverse listeners, Parker Kleinert stopped by in the chat to say, hey, it's dropped. And like, we're getting there.
Yeah, we are.
Star Wars first, Star Wars first,
forever.
always. But Spider-Man is like number 4 on the list. And just today he's number 2. Normally he's like number 4.
Sure.
All right. But we're going to get there in just a moment. So all that to say, yes, Caleb, I agree with you. Give me Boba Fett.
Yeah, give us Boba Fett, and tell you what, Mando Talk will be covering Boba Fett heavily on Thursday.
Ooh.
So we're going to be doing Under the Helmet. We're going to discuss that. But not only that, we are going to rewatch episode or chapter 9 of The Mandalorian, which is the first episode of season 2. You know, when Boba Fett was reintroduced to us as a fan base. And what we're going to do is we're going to, just from because we know in chapter 9 it's just a turnaround and a reveal, but us here, we're going to dissect every little thing, and we are officially starting on Thursday our Boba festivities, where we're going to get you ready for the Book of Boba Fett, and we're going to take it one chapter at a time. So this Thursday is Under the Helmet plus chapter 9 of The Mandalorian, and then the next week will be the next chapter that Boba Fett shows up in The Mandalorian, and then so on. And basically, I mean, in a sense, we're doing a character analysis. We're making sure that we are ready for the Book of Boba Fett. We're making sure that you, the audience, is ready for the Book of Boba Fett. But that is, until we get to that moment, that is all of our Star Wars news that we have to discuss on this edition of Mando Talk. I can't say this week's anymore because we do it 2 times now, and I can't wait to continue to talk about Star Wars twice in a week. That just makes me giddy inside. I can't wait to do it.
Yes.
But those of you listening, you let us know what you think of all of this hot news pieces.
It's the hot goss on the street.
Yeah. I mean, the craziness of Kathleen Kennedy and what that leads to online. Rian Johnson getting mentioned. Patty Jenkinson's film is in complete disarray. Chloe Zhao not directing a Star Wars film like a lot of people were starting to believe. Disney Plus Day, the Obi-Wan Kenobi sizzle reel. So much. Like, we probably could have went for a good 2 hours on this week's episode.
Oh,
Not this week's. My bad.
Today's.
This edition of Mando Talk. But I'm appreciative of those of you out there that listen to us, listen to our therapy session, listen to our rant. You know, it was just one of those. It's one of those things. And to cap this off, if this is the first time you've ever listened to Mando Talk and you're still here, just know we are never like this. We are positive.
Not at all.
We love everything that comes out of Lucasfilm. It's just one of those days.
It's one of those weekends, man. It's just where it landed.
Yeah. Well, DJ, anything else you want to say to our lovely audience?
I mean, just to echo that again, you know, I'm usually in a really good mood around here.
Yeah.
I'm usually like real excited, but I think it's because I've surrounded myself with too much dark side, too much Vader, too much Darth Maul. I've got a probe droid and a Boba Fett behind me. I got my Boba Fett helmet down here behind me. I can't really get to it because there's stuff in the way, but I've got all this dark side around me. I'm going to bring the light side to my studio on Thursday.
There you go.
Because we're getting into some Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about all the good things and none of the bad things. God willing. Force willing.
That's right. Well, if
willing.
bad things come out between now and then, we'll hold off on talking about those bad things till next Tuesday. How about that?
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So again, you can catch us, as I like to say, twice a weekly here.
Twice a weekly. Let's go.
I love saying that.
Yeah.
You'll catch us twice a weekly talking about Star Wars from now probably until 2023.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very heavy year very soon, and I'm excited.
I think so.
Don't get me wrong. If you've listened up to this point, don't get me wrong, I'm upset right now. But when Book of Boba Fett happens, I will find zen. I will find peace and purpose. Peace and purpose, to quote Rey.
Absolutely.
From The Last Jedi,
yeah,
believe it or not.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, again, if you were unable to catch this episode live, make sure you come back Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time and speak freely with us as we discuss Boba Fett. All right, I will leave it there. You have a great next couple of days. We will see you on Thursday, and as always, we have spoken.